All right, so let's expose some big myths about diets and weight loss. And the first, and probably the most important to understand, is that 99% of diets and fitness programs out there are not designed for your success. In fact, most of the diet advice and fitness advice out there is not designed for women. And in fact, because of that, it's going to lead to failure and lack of results. And I know that this is a hard truth, but if you are looking to get results, then you need to know this. And now, why does this happen? And it might feel vindictive, it might feel like they're out to get you, but that's not necessarily the case. And the reason for this is because most diets and fitness programs fail to account for women's unique hormonal cycles and hormonal needs. And not accounting for them leads to devastating results on your hormone health and your system health. And because hormones and metabolic health are linked, it influences your body's ability to lose weight and get results. And now that was just the short answer, right? We're gonna go into the long answer in this video, and I'm gonna dive into why diets don't work and why diets disrupt your hormones and how you can adapt your nutrition and fitness to get results that not only happen, but that last for life. And now, spoiler alert, when you have the right system, you don't need to diet, you don't need to restrict your favorite foods, and you don't even need to spend countless hours in the gym. And with the right system, it really isn't as painful or unenjoyable as they've made it out to be or made it even have to be. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tasha Stevens. I'm an integrative clinical nutritionist and hormone expert, and I've supported thousands of women in reclaiming their health and ditching symptoms and ditching dieting once and for all through hormone balance coaching. So let's dive into the 3 reasons that diets do not work. Now, that first reason, and I've already alluded to it, is that diets aren't designed for women, right? Diets are not designed with your hormonal and system needs in mind. As women, we have 4 unique hormone phases that we move through each and every month. And throughout those phases, your hormones fluctuate. So they go up and down throughout, right? And those direct fluctuations of particular hormone levels influence your metabolic rate, your caloric needs, your energy distribution needs, and your body's ability to handle particular workloads or intensities and workouts and burn fat effectively. And now, hormones are chemical messengers that are produced in response to systems, right? And those systems produce hormones to help communicate and share messages across other systems. And so if there is any disruption in your hormone production or filtration, that's indicative that a system is disrupted. And if those hormones are communicating the wrong messages, then they're communicating incorrect messages across systems, which then those systems respond inappropriately and lead to more hormone imbalance, and it kind of perpetuates. And how this relates to your hormone phases is when these hormone levels fluctuate and rise and fall, and if there's disruption in that, that leads to improper communication across systems. And your body needs very particular energy distributions and nutrients to make sure that it can produce hormones in the right amount or properly filter them out. And so if you're dieting and you're restricting foods like carbs, or you're restricting calories, or you're restricting particular nutrients, you're depriving your body of what it needs to properly produce and filter out hormones and to communicate messages. And that deprivation leads to disrupted hormone production, which leads to miscommunication across systems, which leads to a biological halt. And your body says, oh my gosh, okay, I can't burn fat because that's just a luxury. I need to focus on healing my systems. And so in response to that, your body shuts down fat burning, right? It starts to go into a conservation state, and you get a slew of symptoms, weight gain, feeling like crap, all because your hormones are disrupted because you're depriving your body of those nutrients. Also, what most diets fail to account for is capitalizing on these awesome hormonal fluctuations. As I mentioned, at particular times in your cycle, your body is more prone to fat burn, or it's more prone to using carbs efficiently. And so you can't just eat the same thing each and every day, or you can't just chronically undereat, because again, that deprives your body of what it needs. Instead, when we start to focus on using your hormonal strength and honoring your hormonal strengths, we can capitalize off of times when your body's like, yes, let's burn fat, compared to times where it's a little bit more stressed and it needs more nourishment to get through that stressor. Yet it's these very fluctuations that led women to be excluded from clinical trials for years, right? Because these fluctuations make it hard to track. And so that leads into my point where these diets weren't designed for you, because most women were not included into clinical trials on diets, on medication, on workout programs until 1993, because researchers said our fluctuations made it too much of a variable to study, right? So 99% of the diets that are out there that have been acclaimed for years weren't even tested on women or didn't even take into account your unique hormonal fluctuations. I know, right? So yes, that means most of the diets out there, keto, intermittent fasting, low carb, low fat, low calorie, they were all based on men, an efficacy rate in men, not women. Now this leads me to my second point, is that diets and traditional diets compromise hormone and metabolic function. And so restriction, deprivation, depriving your body of fats, of carbs, of calories, that all leads to system disruption, because your body needs fuel to operate systems, to produce hormones, to fuel metabolic function. Yet that very restriction leads to your body becoming stressed out and wanting to store more fat. Restriction never works. So let's talk about each type of diet and how exactly it impacts your hormone function. So the first is my least favorite, which is low carb and keto diets. Your body needs carbs to function. Carbs are essential for brain function. In fact, they're the only type of energy your body can use besides ketones, which it doesn't like to use. You need it for muscle repair. You need it for energy. You need it for glycogen stores. Carbs are amazing. Carbs are also effective and efficient in fueling your liver health, which helps to filter out estrogen, as well as thyroid health, which regulates your metabolism. Additionally, when you deprive yourself of carbs, that leads to imbalances in your blood sugar. Erratic blood sugar spikes cortisol, decreases insulin reactivity, and increases leptin and leptin resistance. This combination leads to an increase in belly fat storage as a stress response, and it leads to crazy cravings. And because you have these intense cravings and disruption in leptin, you are more susceptible to falling for them and for binging sugar or sweets in the pantry in the middle of the night because you struggle with hormone balance and regulation. So that second most common diet that I see is low fat. Fat is an essential nutrient and it's a building block for hormones. You also need dietary fat in order to absorb essential micronutrients that are used to fuel biochemical pathways, hormone production, and system function. So when you deprive your body of fat, you deprive your body of not only the building blocks that it needs for hormones, but also the nutrients and the ability to absorb nutrients to fuel system function. The result is that you have diminished thyroid function, diminished ovulation, hormone production, and you increase your body's cortisol and stress response. Another common diet, and I think a lot of people practice it, is a low-calorie diet. And it's based off the idea that calories in versus calorie out leads to fat loss, but it's not that simple, right? A temporary calorie reduction, i.e., or energy reduction, right? Like a month, a couple weeks, can help to mobilize aesthetic change. However, if you are chronically under eating, whether intentional or not, this triggers a stress response in your body because your body thinks that it is in a famine state. Again, your body has survived years of evolution and making it through some really stressful environments. So it gets really good at recognizing when there's not enough fuel, and it shifts production and energy utilization to preserve and to save your life, right? So when you chronically undereat, it triggers a stress response and your body shifts into a conservation state and an energy efficiency state rather than burning fat as a fuel source like promised, right? So anything that you eat in excess is actually stored as a fat, and your body gets really, really good at using the bare minimum energy. So even if you're eating 1,200 calories, which isn't that much, most of that gets stored as fat because your body is so stressed out. That third reason why diets don't work is because It's not sustainable. Please don't lie to me. Are you never going to eat a carb again? Are you never going to have a cupcake at an event, never go out for a margarita? Is it really sustainable to never eat fat or carbs or food ever again? Absolutely not. And in fact, sustaining this restriction becomes even harder when your hormones are running rampant and your body is trying to do whatever it can to just survive. In fact, your body's hormonal responses to these diets are designed to trigger what I like to call as your body's safety feature. When your body is stressed and recognizes that it's not getting enough energy, it releases hormones to tell you that it needs something immediately and it needs it as soon as possible to ensure that it can continue on. And this is when the cravings and symptoms start to kick in. So that's when you start to crave things like salt or sugar or carbs. And those cravings are coupled with the release of a particular hormone that tells you you're not only hungry, but also suppresses your satiation hormone. And so when you do start to indulge in the carbs or the chips, you don't have that mechanism to tell you that you're full or satiated. And so it leads to rampant binging or being in the pantry eating everything in sight. And then you feel like you failed when in fact it's just your body trying to survive. And in this scenario, your cortisol is high, you're very stressed out, your body is taking all that extra energy that you're consuming as a part of that binge, and it's storing it all as fat as an endocrine response because it doesn't trust that the famine is over. And so it's doing whatever it takes to ensure that you have energy reserves to survive this prolonged famine of being in your diet or in your restriction. I don't know about you, but I do not want any part of this roller coaster ride. And so what is the best diet? How do you lose weight? Well, in fact, the best diet is actually not a diet at all. It doesn't involve restriction. It doesn't involve crazy calorie cutting. It allows you to eat your favorite fun foods. Yes, that means cake and nachos. And it focuses on creating a lifestyle around it. So it's not something that you ever start or stop, but it's something that you can continue and sustain for your entire life. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. This is exactly what CycleSync Nutrition and Fitness is. It focuses on healing your systems and optimizing your body's natural strengths by fueling hormone and metabolic function and adapting energy needs, energy intake, types of food that you eat, and even how you work out to complement your hormonal needs rather than work against. This is how it looks. For example, in your follicular and your ovulatory phase, your metabolic rate or your body's ability to burn fat is higher. And so we can leverage this natural strength by adapting your energy or the types of energy that you consume to burn fat very effectively without having to restrict your favorite foods. And we can couple it with the right types of workouts so you build lean mass and your body becomes a fat burning machine. And then compared to your luteal and menstrual phase, when your body is focused on conservation, it's either trying to get pregnant or it recognizes that it's not pregnant and it's focused on shedding that excess lining. So during this time, you have a higher metabolic rate and your body needs more fuel to function. And because it's in a conservation and protection mode, it's not necessarily prone or desiring to lose or release any fat stores. So we leverage this by fueling your hormonal needs, making sure that we don't overstress or tax your body. So that way, when you enter your follicular and ovulatory phase, you can get results exponentially. So really, in order to be effective, in order for it to not be a diet or something that you start or stop, you need it to be sustainable. You need it to work for your life. Because if it's sustainable, then it's something that you can do continually, and that consistency, that sustainability, that's what breeds results. And that's what ensures that you never feel like you need to cut carbs or cut your calories ever again. Do you want to learn exactly how to do this? Well, one of the best places to start is in our H3 Society. It is my exclusive community that gives you access to our hormone balance coaching vaults with over 20 lessons on how to start cycle syncing your life, your nutrition, how to identify your hormonal needs and system needs, and it gives you worksheets, tools to implement those changes for success. You also get access to live monthly coaching calls, me and my coaching team, recipe drops, and so much more. Now, if you're ready to hit the ground running and you want a completely customized for you program, then I recommend you hire me and my coaching team to design a fully integrated hormone balance nutrition and strength coaching program. That includes a completely customized macro plan, meal plans for every cycle phase, which is over 4 plus over 20 recipes, right? A completely customized strength program with movements, intensity, rep ranges, cardio program, individualized supplement recommendations, and most importantly, the accountability from me with unlimited email coaching, face-to-face consults, and formal check-ins to ensure your success every step of the way. And most importantly, we build off of the foundation that you are unique. You are not like any other person in this world, and we have to factor in bio-individuality. Nutrition is the only science where something can be 100% right for someone and 100% wrong for somebody else because of their medical needs, their history, their lifestyle, their preferences. So we look at your hormonal needs, your medical background, your lifestyle, your goals, all of that, and we really tailor your approach to meet those needs so it's sustainable and it focuses on healing your systems and ensuring that they can function optimally. If you are just jazzed about everything nutrition related and hormone balance related, then I recommend you subscribe to my channel to get regular updates on tips, tricks, and strategies to support your hormones. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and share with a friend. And finally, if you have any questions at all, never hesitate to drop them in the comments below or reach out to me directly.